All right, let's move on over to this week in WWE TV. First up, Monday Night Raw. And right out of the gates, the first scene of Raw this week was Randy Orton, or I should say a luchador version of Randy
Mr. Wrestling number 2.
No, that's Mr. Wrestling number 3.
Number 3,
Number
okay.
3.
Yeah.
Randy Orton in like a white mask, and you see like little burnt red marks under him.
Or Dr. X.
Richard, your thoughts on this promo here?
Long.
It was long.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I
tuned out after a while, so I'll let you speak on this.
Okay, I had it on Monday, and it was kind of long. I was like, he's still talking. Now, to sum it up, the message here, as far as he showed compassion and restraint and didn't light Alexa Bliss on fire when he had the chance to a couple weeks ago. But in doing so, the following week, he got a fireball to the face. Mm-hmm. So in a way, he kind of justified, like he's upset.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, but he's like upset, that, he had the opportunity to do this and he didn't. And in doing so, it led to him getting a fireball to the face. And then ultimately, he said he's still going to enter the Royal Rumble match. And he's still going to fight. So nonetheless, it just shows that the Fiend has changed Randy Orton. He's starting to show compassion. Let me ask you this. Do you think the Fiend is going to cost Randy Orton his Royal Rumble spot? Like somehow he's going to be the one to eliminate him?
Probably.
I would think so. Like, would it be kind of cool if Randy Orton's in there, maybe eliminates a bunch of people. Then the next number is like the Fiend. He comes in.
My only problem with saying yes to this is I feel like there's a few storylines like that at this year's Royal Rumble that I could see, and I don't think that they're going to do more than one to further a story like that. So
yeah. So I
could see the lights going out and the Fiend thing happening and someone just tossing Randy over and there's no sign of the Fiend.
Oh, so it could have been like just a
distraction.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I can see that. No, I appreciate Randy Orton as far as really taking the character seriously and throwing the mask on. I wonder how long he's going to wrestle with the mask on for, though, to really sell the burn injury or burn marks. And
it's probably going to be a few months.
It's going to be like, was Undertaker had the mask on for the longest time. So,
like Phantom of the Opera.
Now, here's the question. If Randy Orton was true old school, because, he's been around for a minute now, I wonder if he wears the mask outside of Tropicana Field. Like, does he wear it to the airport wherever he travels to and from St. Louis every week? So let's see Randy Orton outside of...
you're assuming he actually lives in St. Louis.
He lives in Florida.
He lives in Florida?
Yeah, he's got a home in Florida.
Well,
he can drive home in a mask.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing masks right now.
Yeah.
He has a full...
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll see how this goes. But I enjoyed, like, as far as really setting the scene that his face was, burnt up pretty badly. He has to wear a full-blown mask now. But, yeah, the promo did run a little long. And I'm like, come on, wrap this up. Mm-hmm. But, anyway. Okay. Now, as far as let's just talk about Charlotte Flair, and then I have my thoughts about Asuka and Alexa Bliss. We'll say that towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlotte Flair, she's having a one-on-one match with Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce's, I guess, kind of tag team partner. Lacey Evans comes out wearing Ric Flair's robe and just kind of throws a distraction. Woo! Woo! Just like Lacey shook like, how'd you get that robe? Like, where'd you get? So Charlotte Flair still defeats Peyton Royce, but ultimately the story here is Lacey Evans is wearing Ric Flair, Charlotte's dad's robe, and rubbing it in. And later on in the night, we see Charlotte Flair cut a promo saying she spent years trying to separate herself from her dad's legacy and try to build her own, career. Lacey Evans comes right in and she's totally embracing being like Ric Flair's, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know, lover, maybe it's not the right word, but like apprentice, learning from. Lacey says she's learning from Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Ric Flair could teach her a thing or two.
So, I mean, what do you think about the psychology that Lacey is doing here?
It's classic wrestling.
Yeah.
You've turned someone important. It's no different than Dusty and who's the what was her name? The
Baby doll.
Baby doll?
no in WWF.
Dusty Rhodes.
What time period?
When Dusty was
Sapphire.
in WWF. Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Yeah.
Not Baby
when
doll.
when
No.
Ted DiBiase paid Sapphire away from Dusty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's an emotional thing. It's just kind of like, it makes you hate Lacey that much more
Yeah.
because it's like, God, she's used Charlotte's father to mess with Charlotte's mind. And it's like, it's not like Charlotte's the Raw champion. So it's really more vindictive than like trying to get a belt off of somebody.
And that's what I'll just tease this right now. As far as when we lead to the main event, it's just kind of frustrating that this episode you have the women's tag team champions Asuka and Charlotte, but they were never seen on screen together as all not being shown as a unified team. They got separate storylines right now versus maybe having their own storyline, which I know
you could feel that way, earlier in the week, but then we see on Friday why we got to see them again.
True. Okay, so yeah, we'll get just put that on hold for a sec. So, but anyway, like I said, I'm just a little frustrated that the tag titles I feel like are not getting enough attention, at least on Raw. I am now, granted, when I first saw Raw and then now jump ahead to SmackDown, at least they're getting some love there, which we'll touch on in a little bit. So anyway, now listen, we saw Mace defeat Xavier Woods. So Xavier Woods, poor Xavier, he's getting beat up by Retribution. I just want to say my main thing was the promo before the match. Mustafa Ali says he hopes Kofi's jaw injury keeps him out through WrestleMania and therefore is payback to what happened to him a couple years ago. Remember, Kofi Mania took place because Mustafa Ali got injured from Randy Orton. Kofi was the replacement in the Elimination Chamber and had that great performance and then led to the Kofi Mania build to his match against Daniel Bryan. Let me ask you this. Do you want to see maybe a Mustafa Ali Kofi feud once he's healthy, and could that be maybe a big WrestleMania match there?
I don't know about WrestleMania, but I think it'd be a good match.
Because I think that's a story that hasn't been told yet as far as Mustafa Ali. He's had this grudge against Kofi for the last 2 years that his career could have been what Kofi is, but because of injury and stuff, it was preventing him from doing that. So I think that could be something really cool. That's the Easter egg right there. What could coming up between the two of them whenever Kofi gets healed up. So Xavier Woods is going to take a beating for probably for a couple weeks until the Kofi's healthy again. So anyway, something to keep track of. Now, next up, a segment that I was kind of, I didn't think it didn't hit a home run was Asuka visiting Alexa Bliss's playground. So we see, Alexa Bliss, had her playground set up in the ring. Asuka comes in. They're going back and forth. Asuka was like all playful, like, she wanted to be there.
I think I know why you weren't so into it, because I felt the same way. I think Alexa Bliss's tone changed to the angry, don't sit there. That kind of threw me off, where she's like, I wouldn't sit there if I were you. That would have been better. Yeah,
and so Asuka is like trying to be playful and wanted to sit down and swing next to Alexa Bliss. And she's like, don't sit there. That's his spot. And then she starts talking into like an invisible friend, a.k.a. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. For me, Asuka is the Raw Women's Champion. She's one half of the tag team champion. She's arguably the most dominant female performer in the last 5 years. I just don't like how she's being treated, like kind of scared of Alexa Bliss a little bit. I don't know. Like, I feel like she should be a little more dominant and be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, I'm leaving. Or, you know what I mean? Like, from a character standpoint, Asuka, she is the badass warrior of this women's division.
Doesn't mean that she can't get freaked out by something.
Yeah,
because, I mean, if you think about it, there's baggage that comes with Alexa Bliss in the fact that Asuka doesn't know if the lights go out. Is the Fiend going to be there and grab her the same way he grabbed Alexa Bliss? Yeah. So I think you need to take it for what it is. I mean, at the same time, like, you get Andre the Giant's afraid of a snake. The biggest man on the planet's afraid of a snake.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
like, with Alexa, at least, there's like something a little bit more. And I think when you're looking at Alexa, you also need to be thinking about the Fiend and what the Fiend, in terms of punishment, can take.
Yeah.
We don't know where this Alexa Bliss is yet. This is the first we've seen her in the ring like this.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting how this plays out. And I'll kind of touch on more of that with the main event. So that when I was a little bit worried about what we saw here, how it was going to play into the main event, and it kind of did. So also we saw Shayna Baszler defeat Mandy Rose. Nia was on commentary.
That was a titillating match.
Okay, I did not see. Okay,
those of you who know,
I did not see it, and so I gotta go look again, double check again.
I got you covered.
Okay, thank you. So, but Nia and Shayna were talking as far as like their big plan now is like, okay, Charlotte is busy with Lacey Evans, Asuka's busy with Alexa Bliss. They're kind of dysfunctional right now as tag champions, so they want to go after the tag titles again and get their rematch. So, okay, we'll see how this plays out with them. And then let's see. We see AJ Styles take on Ricochet. Easily match of the night. Am I right, Richard? Here, AJ Styles.
That was phenomenal. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just the back and forth, and finally let Ricochet just kind of do his thing out there, and AJ catch him and lay the finisher on him.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was a great finish.
Ricochet needs a mouthpiece desperately. He is so bad on a microphone.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's the thing.
I love his in-ring work. I loved him in Lucha Underground, but dear Lord, is he stale on the microphone.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I definitely. I see what you say about that. Okay, interesting. So, no, but yeah, Ricochet, he is such an amazing athlete. Going back to our comments about our discussion with Undertaker, he's such an amazing athlete. What he could do in the ring, not a lot of people can do, and it's so good. And do you think he has the majority of the whole package? But what is he missing? Yeah, maybe a mouthpiece could really help him. It's he's
below indie level on the mic. He's really terrible on the microphone.
And that's something like, maybe these older veterans could help work out with him. I don't know. Like going back to what we talked about earlier with older veterans from the Attitude Era, could they come in and help teach a promo to Ricochet and kind of really get it out of him? I don't know. But anyway,
he would be a good addition to the Hurt Business.
That could be. Well, and that's a great point you brought. We'll touch on real quick. So a segment that I actually laughed, even though Miz and Morrison are kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. We had the dirt sheet. They brought out Gilbert, which, first off, just glad to see Gilbert is doing okay. Remember, he had a heart attack last year. So I'm just glad he's doing okay. And then they bring out a phony Drew McIntyre, who was actually played by actor David Krumholtz. Because he was
on the Deuce.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, this guy looks familiar. Is this the guy that was in that movie Life with Mikey with Michael J. Fox and all the Santa Claus movies, Harold Kumar, Numbers?
He's like one of the main stars for The Deuce on HBO with James Franco, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and James Gandolfini's son.
I was watching and I was like, that guy looks familiar. Is that him? Yeah. But I didn't realize, hey, I'm a big guy myself, but he's a little bit thicker right now. So I
think he's done that for a role because he gained a bunch of weight for The Deuce. And then the second season of The Deuce, he lost, he was the skinniest guy you've seen.
Gotcha. Okay. So, for acting cool, but I laughed when he was trying to say the line and he stops like, you want to do it again? He's like, no, we're live.
Where'd you get this guy? New Jersey.
And Morrison was so great here. Morrison, I love Morrison, and he's such an amazing performer.
You know him.
I've done events with him.
Without Morrison, these segments would sink.
Yeah, I really want Morrison to get a good singles run on his own. I
think it's coming, especially with his wife as a free agent.
Yeah, and I do speculate Taya's probably going to sign with WWE. She should.
Yeah.
So with Morrison, I really think he could be a champion, WWE champion, if booked correctly. But it was just so Morrison really makes these segments fun, and he saves them for the most part. So anyway, I'm just I love the segment. I thought it was really funny, and just Gilbert going, Wah! Even in the background, Wah! It just was funny. So
he's just getting over a heart attack. He had a heart attack in December or November.
Oh,
No, so I'm so happy that he's doing okay now. So it's it's great stuff there. Wow, that is some great stuff right there. So talking about the Hurt Business earlier on, there was that botch. Remember, Bobby Lashley stopped Riddle's foot, but he was like a foot away from his foot.
Yeah,
it was so bad. Like, could they recut that or reshoot that?
Nope.
It was so bad.
we're live, pal.
Riddle's like, and he's like, dude, you didn't touch your foot. Anyway, so you had the match of the Hurt Business taking on Riddle and the Lucha Brothers. So do you think Cedric is going to get kicked out of the Hurt Business soon? Because he kept tagging himself in. And I'm like, what's going on here? How can you have dysfunction already when you got the majority of the titles on Raw?
It could just be, I mean, look at the other guys. He's the youngest guy in the group. He needs to be taught. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they jumped him or something and taught him a lesson, and lesson learned.
Or maybe do a switch with Ricochet.
It's such a hot group right now. I don't think that they're going to touch it.
I know. It's like you're teasing this. So is something going to happen or not? Because I don't want them to break up already. They're so good as it is. There's still a fresh foursome right there. I don't want them to mess with the Hurt Business. Keep it as it is. I don't like that they're already having dysfunction already amongst the four of them. So anyway, we see Jeff Hardy defeat Jackson Ryker when Elias interfered. I don't know. Is Elias Ryker? This thing's probably, I don't know how long this is going to last for as well.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we jump to the main event. Alexa Bliss taking on Raw Women's Champion Asuka. We see the match start. The lights go out. And then the setting of the Thunderdome is different. Got the purple lights. Asuka, a whole different outfit. She looks possessed. Asuka is like throwing a bunch of action at her or offense towards her. Alexa is no selling any of it. Ultimately,
she was using Miyagi karate the whole time.
Exactly.
It was all defensive.
So she ultimately defeats Alexa Bliss. Or excuse me, defeats Asuka and defeats Asuka, defeats the Raw Women's Champion cleanly, and then the lights go back off, and then she morphs back into her regular self again. So, man, like, guys, like, I was a little bummed because I was like, I love Asuka, and she got manhandled here by Alexa Bliss, who was like possessed, I guess, by the Fiend or her alter ego. I don't know.
But we've seen this. Don't worry. Number one, because we've seen this with the Fiend. He ate up Finn Balor. He ate up Seth Rollins. So it's just some storytelling. It's 1 week.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Plus, Asuka's not gonna babyface champions are not supposed to hold the belts that long forever because you're more invested in them chasing the belts than holding the belt.
Yeah, that's true. But Alexa Bliss announced herself for the Women's Royal Rumble. Do you consider her a strong favorite now?
No.
Do you think if she turns into possess mode or alter ego personality, like, could she go on a tear in the Royal Rumble match now?
I don't know, because we don't really know what this is. I think it's possible we see some sort of Fiend version of Alexa Bliss enter the Royal Rumble.
Okay,
that'd be pretty cool if you think about it.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, no. Here we are on the road to Royal Rumble next weekend. Yeah.
This is also a match that involves Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. So I don't see Alexa Bliss easily throwing both of them over.
Like you said, I'm just concerned that Asuka is getting jobbed out to Alexa Bliss's character, and then the women's tag titles are just on the back burner while Asuka and Charlotte have their separate storylines instead of kind of unified and being together.
Even if Asuka is jobbing out to Alexa Bliss is a very decorated champion, so I wouldn't consider it jobbing out. It's just Asuka. Not the person that you want to see winning.
I love
Asuka.
The
problem. I know.